Walk into any casino and you'll immediately feel it. That mix of excitement, noise, lights, and the promise that maybe, just maybe, today will be your lucky day. But here's the uncomfortable truth: no casino advertises. Most players aren't losing because they're unlucky. They're losing because they're walking straight into four psychological traps that the casino industry has perfected over decades. And the craziest part? You don't even realize you're falling for them. Whether it's the illusion that you're controlling the spin, the instinct to chase losses, picking the wrong volatility for your bankroll, or simply playing way too fast without noticing, these mistakes quietly drain your money while making you feel like everything is under control. Casinos don't need to cheat. They just need you to keep believing the wrong things. So today, we're breaking down the four real reasons you lose at slots, the reasons rooted in psychology, neuroscience, and design. And I'll show you exactly how to stop falling into the traps that cost players hundreds, sometimes thousands, without them even noticing. If you've ever walked out of a casino thinking, how did I lose so fast? This video is your turning point. Let's dive in. Reason number one: the illusion of control. Let's start with the biggest trap in slot gambling: the belief that you have any influence over the outcome. Millions of players fall for this without realizing it, and casinos absolutely count on it. You think hitting the spin button at the perfect moment matters. You think switching machines after a cold streak resets your luck. You think stopping the reels manually gives you some kind of advantage. You think timing, rhythm, or a certain pattern is the secret. But here's the truth: none of that changes a single thing, not even 1%. Studies on problem gamblers show something shocking. Players who struggle the most are the ones who feel the strongest illusion of control. Their brains literally convince them they're influencing randomness. Brain imaging research backs this up. When people play slots, the same neural regions activate as if they're using strategy or skill, even though slots involve zero skill. Here's what's actually happening behind the scenes. The random number generator, the RNG, decides the result before the reels even begin to spin. The reels are just theater, pure visual dressing. The outcome is locked in the instant you tap the button, and the RNG doesn't move slowly. It cycles through hundreds or thousands of numerical combinations every second. Unless you can process numbers at the speed of a microchip, you're not timing anything. You're just revealing the result the machine already picked. Researchers comparing different forms of gambling found that sports bettors have the strongest illusion of control. But slot players aren't far behind, because slot machines are literally engineered to create that illusion. The button placement, the fake manual stop feature, the flashy animations, it's all designed to make you feel like you're influencing something. When scientists asked experienced players to verbalize their thoughts mid-game, their answers were full of confidence and completely wrong. "I can feel when it's about to pay out. This machine is ready. I know the pattern. I can tell when to switch." Every one of those statements is false. Slots are 100% math, 0% skill. But your brain is wired to see patterns in randomness, to believe action equals influence, and casinos exploit that flawlessly. Skill-based slot machines make this even more dangerous. In one study, researchers used two versions of the same game: one standard, one with video game elements that appeared skill-based. Same payouts, same math, but players on the skill-looking version bet more, played longer, and lost more money simply because they believed they could get better. That's how deep the illusion goes. The psychological definition is brutal. The illusion of control is the belief that your personal influence matters more than probability allows. And this false belief keeps you losing longer, betting higher, and chasing imaginary patterns. So how do you fix it? Accept the reality: you control nothing about the outcome. Not the timing, not the button, not the reels, not the streaks. The only things you do control are your bankroll, your time at the machine, the volatility you choose, your bet size when you walk away. If you genuinely want control, play blackjack or poker. Slots are entertainment, not a competition, not a strategy game. Treat them that way and you'll lose less money and avoid the mental traps casinos rely on. Reason number two, you're chasing losses. Now, let's move to one of the most financially dangerous habits in slot gambling, chasing losses. If the illusion of control is what keeps you spinning, then chasing losses is what destroys your bankroll faster than anything else. Here's how it usually happens. You lose $50. You feel that sting. You tell yourself, I'll just win it back. You raise your bet size. You play faster. You stay longer than planned. And by the time you finally stop, you're down $200 or $300, wondering how things escalated so quickly. This isn't just a bad habit. Psychologists consider loss chasing one of the core symptoms of gambling addiction, the dividing line between casual players and those headed into real trouble. And the numbers prove it. Studies consistently show that around 70% of gamblers chase losses. That's not a rare behavior, it's the majority. And these players lose 3 to 4 times more money than those who walk away after a planned loss limit. The reason is simple. Humans feel losses twice as intensely as gains. Losing $50 hurts far more than winning $50 feels good. This is called loss aversion, and it pushes people into irrational decisions. Brain scans reveal something even scarier. When players start chasing losses, the rational part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, essentially shuts down. You're not thinking logically anymore. You're not making decisions. You're reacting emotionally, fueled by frustration, impatience, and the urge to erase the pain of losing. Here's what the spiral looks like in real time. You arrive at the casino with a $50 budget. 20 minutes later, it's gone. Now your brain refuses to accept that outcome. You tell yourself, just 50 more. I'll recover it and leave. You lose that too. Now you're down 100. The stakes feel higher. The emotional pressure increases. Suddenly you're playing faster, not slower. Studies confirm that after losses, players increase their speed of play, chasing that next spin as if it will magically reverse everything. It almost never does. In one controlled experiment, researchers observed players in a rigged environment where losing everything was guaranteed if they played long enough. Over 1/3 of the participants kept playing until they lost every last dollar. They couldn't walk away. They were trapped in the psychology of chasing. Slot floors around the world show the same pattern. Players hitting ATMs multiple times, withdrawing more with each round, 50, then another 50, then 100, then 200, trying desperately to fix a mistake that only gets worse. So how do you break this cycle? You need rules, real, unbreakable rules, created before you sit down. First, set a strict loss limit. Decide exactly how much you're prepared to lose and write it down. When you hit that number, you're done. No negotiations, no one more spin, no mental gymnastics. Second, bring only cash. Leave your cards at home. Cash creates a real physical barrier. When it's gone, you have to make a conscious decision to go get more. The pause is often enough to stop the spiral. Third, take a mandatory 24-hour break after a big loss. When you're emotional, you're vulnerable, you're impulsive, you're not thinking clearly. Give your mind time to reset. And finally, understand this essential truth. The machine doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't remember your losses. It doesn't try to pay you back. Every spin is independent, completely random, and unaffected by the past. Treat losses as the cost of entertainment, because that's exactly what they are. When you accept that reality, you immediately gain control over something casinos never wanted you to control in the first place: your behavior. Reason number 3, volatility mismatch. Now we get to one of the most misunderstood concepts in all of slot gambling: volatility. Most players don't just ignore it. They don't even know it exists, and that ignorance alone destroys more bankrolls than bad luck ever will. Volatility isn't superstition. It isn't some secret setting casinos hide. It's the core mathematical design of the machine. And if you sit down at the wrong volatility level for your bankroll, the outcome is already decided. You're going broke. Let's break it down. High volatility machines are built to hit hard but rarely. Low volatility machines are built to hit often but small. Medium sits somewhere in between. Nothing magical, just the blueprint of the game. But here's where things get brutal. High volatility slots can easily deliver stretches of 50, 70, even 100 losing spins in a row. And that's not malfunction, that's normal behavior. These games are engineered to drain bankrolls fast, unless you bring enough money to survive the drought. If you're betting $1 per spin on a high volatility machine, you don't just want $200 to play comfortably. You need it. You need a cushion of 200 to 300 spins just to weather the cold streaks that are guaranteed to hit sooner or later. Most players don't know this. They just see a machine with a giant jackpot on the screen and think, this one looks fun. Then their bankroll evaporates in under 20 minutes, and they walk away convinced the casino somehow cheated them. But the truth is simpler. They chose a game mathematically incompatible with their budget. Research that analyzed thousands of real players revealed something staggering. More than 60% of casual gamblers sit at high volatility slots without realizing it. They don't check the info screen. They don't look at the payable. They don't think about volatility at all. And the results show it. Small bankroll plus high volatility equals rapid burnout, often under 20 minutes. Meanwhile, the exact same bankroll on a low volatility slot can stretch to 90 minutes or more. Same casino, same player, same RTP, but completely different experiences, because volatility dictates the rhythm of your wins and losses. The psychology behind this mismatch is powerful and predictable. Huge maximum win numbers hijack the emotional brain. You see $100,000 flashing in gold letters, and suddenly all logic disappears. You're no longer calculating probability. You're imagining the life-changing hit. Casinos lean into this. Marketing for high volatility machines always focuses on maximum payouts and massive potential. What they never mention is the real experience, the dozens of dead spins, the bankroll crashes, the hours where nothing happens. Two players can sit at two machines with identical RTP, yet have completely different experiences. Player A on a low volatility game enjoys small hits, stays alive, plays for over an hour, and leaves feeling entertained. Player B on a high volatility machine suffers 90% dead spins, hits one moderate win, then loses everything and leaves frustrated. Same math underneath, different design, different outcome. So how do you fix this? First, check the volatility rating before you play. Most machines list it in the info menu. If it doesn't, search the title online for 5 seconds before you sit down. It's worth it. Next, be honest about your bankroll. If you have $50 to $200, stick to lower medium volatility. No exceptions. If you have 200 to 500, you can try medium volatility safely. If you have 500 or more and you want the thrill, then, and only then, high volatility becomes reasonable. There's a simple formula. Take your bankroll, divide it by your bet size. That number is how many spins you can afford. If that number is under 200, high volatility slots are a mathematical suicide mission. It's not about confidence. It's not about luck. It's not about feeling the machine. It's math, and the math does not bend. If you want longer sessions, choose low volatility. If you want big win potential, bring the proper bankroll. And if you're hoping that your tiny budget magically triumphs against a high-risk game, understand this clearly. That's not strategy. That's fantasy. Reason number 4, the speed trap. Of all the mistakes slot players make, this one drains more money than anything else. And most people don't even realize it's happening. The speed at which you spin is one of the biggest predictors of how fast you lose, and casinos have spent decades perfecting machines to make you play faster than your brain can think. Modern slot machines can process 600 to 900 spins per hour. That's 10 to 15 spins every minute, one spin every 4 to 6 seconds, and the majority of players hit the button even faster than that because the machine's rhythm pulls them into a loop. Here's the part casinos will never say outright. Speed is the real house edge. Mathematically, the more spins you take, the more the built-in house advantage grinds you down. At 10 spins per minute at $1 per spin, you're wagering $600 an hour. At a 94% return to player, you're losing $36 per hour on average. Slow that down. Force yourself to 3 spins per minute, and your total wager drops to $180 an hour, which cuts your expected losses to around $11. Same machine, same odds, same player. The only difference is speed. And here's the trap. Most gamblers automatically speed up after losing. Player tracking data confirms that when people start losing, they press the button faster, not slower. It's an emotional reaction, the urge to get back what was lost. Psychologists call it chasing momentum. Neuroscientists call it impaired impulse control. Either way, your brain is no longer making rational decisions. Casinos know speed blinds you. That's why newer machines have smoother animations, faster processors, shorter reel spin times, and sound effects that fire in rapid bursts. Every second between spins is engineered to be as small as possible because thinking is bad for business. The last thing a casino wants is for you to pause long enough to realize how much you're wagering per hour. Autoplay made this even worse. When some jurisdictions legalized autoplay, gambling activity increased by nearly 10%. Not because players were having more fun, but because they stopped making individual decisions. Removing the moment of choice removes your natural braking system. The psychology behind this is brutal. Fast play creates a trance state. Researchers call it the zone. You stop noticing your surroundings, you stop noticing time, you stop noticing money. And that mental fog is exactly when you lose the most. So how do you fix it? Force yourself to slow down. No autoplay, ever. Take 5 to 10 seconds between spins. Look away from the screen. Breathe. Reset your head. After 20 spins, take a 2-minute break and physically step back from the machine. If you do this, you'll stretch your bankroll, regain control of your decisions, and break the psychological cycle casinos depend on. Because here's the truth. If you can't slow down, the machine is in control, not you. And when the machine is in control, you lose every time. Now that you've seen how these 4 hidden mechanisms actually work, the whole picture becomes clearer. Slot machines aren't beating you because you're unlucky. They're beating you because they're engineered to exploit the way your brain naturally thinks. The illusion of control, the impulse to chase losses, the misunderstanding of volatility, and the speed trap. Each one is carefully woven into the design of modern slots. But here's the good news. Once you see the blueprint, you're no longer an easy target. Most players never question why they play the way they do. They never slow down, never check volatility, never set limits, never accept randomness. And the casinos make billions off that mindset. But now you're not most players. You understand the psychology, the math, and the traps. You know what actually matters and what doesn't. So the next time you sit down at a slot machine, remember this. You can't control the outcome, but you can control yourself. And that difference alone will save you more money than any so-called strategy ever could. If this breakdown helped you see the casino floor differently, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes they can feel when a machine is ready to pay. Because once they understand the truth, they'll never look at slots the same way again.